welcome to CAN TV 21 Hotline. Let's talk etiquette. Just such a pleasure to say that word each and every Wednesday when we come on the air. But guess what? We have our very, very special co-host back with us for this special show. And of course, her name is Madam Georgia Selmon, Etiquette Maven Extraordinary. Welcome back to CAN TV, Let's Talk Etiquette.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. It's indeed a pleasure to be back on Let's Talk Etiquette. I'm thoroughly and completely excited about being here today.
Wonderful, wonderful, because we do have a great topic. But I'm thinking maybe we should invite a few people to give us a call. They can call us at 312-738-1060. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. We do have a wonderful subject today. But I'd like to start the show out today talking about your summer experiences over at Kenwood, Oakland.
Oh.
And those wonderful children that you
Yes.
told me so much about, educating them in etiquette.
Yes.
So how did that go?
Awesome. And we had, I believe, 6 weeks of training.
Okay.
And we had grades first grade through 4th.
Oh, okay.
And the kids were amazing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if I start talking about those youngsters, it would take up the entire show because they were absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And we enjoyed I worked with another Maven,
Yes.
Renee Washington.
Yes.
And it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. We went 2 days a week.
Yes.
And we taught them the importance of etiquette,
Yes.
manners, and morals.
Yes.
And they ate it up. They loved the subject. They participated. They were so engaging.
Yes.
And we just had a wonderful, wonderful summer experience.
Yes.
And I would love to do it again. So if you're listening, or you're watching,
Yes.
please invite us back because it was a tremendous,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful experience.
Yes.
And the kids loved it.
They loved it.
Yes, they did.
And I got the word after the class was over with how well it went. But you were telling me how excited they were when you guys came to the class. They straightened up and you were so
They did.
excited. And
They did.
raising their hands, trying to get the opportunity to answer your questions. And the participation, they were just so enthusiastic about participating.
The first lesson was spelling the word etiquette.
Okay.
I wanted them to all leave at the end of our sessions knowing how to spell the word etiquette and then knowing the definitions of the word etiquette.
Yes.
And they were, it was a new word for them.
Yes.
And they just gravitated to the subject and they just participated and enjoyed it from the beginning to end.
Yes, yes.
We did a fine dining segment, and they loved it.
I'm sure they enjoyed that.
It was a wonderful experience.
Yes. And tell us about how you closed it out. You actually gave them certificates.
Yes.
That was special. Tell us about that a little bit.
We completed these 5 sessions with a certificate. And the kids they felt so accomplished. They felt so accomplished.
Yes.
And it was one of the best etiquette training experiences for me that I've had since I've been doing this.
Yes.
So thank you for the contract.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
And we had all of the certificates framed up.
Yes, we did.
So that was really a special treat for them. So the only thing they had to do was go and put it on the wall in their home, in their bedroom. So.
There was one little glitch. One of the young ladies' name was misspelled.
Okay.
And she walked up to me and she eased up. She said, "Miss Selmon," she said, "that's not how you spell my name." I said, "Oh my." And I said, "Well, no worries. Miss Selmon will make the correction,
Yes.
and you will have your certificate before the week is out. And I made it my business. That was the very last day of our training, but I
Right.
made it my business to get
Right.
her
You
certificate.
drove back down
I
in the
did.
city, and you're in the suburbs, and the school's at, what, 45th, 46th Street?
Yes.
Somewhere over there
Yes,
in the
yes.
Hyde Park area.
Yes.
And you actually drove from your home back in the city to give this one child
Yes.
her certificate with her name
Absolutely.
spelled correctly.
Absolutely.
That was something
I
special.
would do it again and
Down
again.
that Dan Ryan, Bishop Ford.
But that's okay. That's what we do.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what we do.
Wasn't the next day the last day of school?
It was yes. The next day was the very last day of school. So I had from the day before,
Right.
to that very next day, and they had gone on that final day, that last day.
Yes.
They had taken the kids on a field trip.
Yes. Yes.
So regardless,
Yes.
I made it my business to get that young lady her certificate.
Wonderful.
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
I thought that was worth sharing
Thank
because,
you.
last week I was going to raise this subject, but I'm raising it now. I thought that's definitely worth mentioning to our audience to let them know how important this subject is to our young people.
Yes.
And how thirsty they are for it. They are probably more thirsty for this than any other subject.
Yeah, I really believe it's
because
because.
it's about behavior.
Well, I think it's because it's something different.
Yes.
And it's not rocket scientists.
No.
It's a very simple concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they want to know what civility is. They want to know what good manners and use good manners.
Yes.
They gravitated to the subject.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It was amazing to see how interested they were all ears, very
Yeah.
attentive.
Yes.
Not one session of any type of disciplinary that
Issues.
not at all. Not at all.
Wow, that's fun. That makes it really
Yes.
fun to be able to teach a class of young people and no disciplinary issues whatsoever.
Whatsoever.
They seem to understand their behavior, classroom etiquette. They got it. They understood it.
Yes.
And it's a fun thing to be able to do. And the teachers were so pleased.
Yes.
The teachers were very excited about
Yes.
you being there and teaching.
The
that
teachers were more attentive and was just zeroed in on the subject matter as well.
Yes. Yes.
We always get one student, they'll ask the question, why don't we have this in regular school? Why can't we have this in regular school?
Even up to high school level, we've
Yes.
gotten that same question many, many, many times. Because once it clicks, the importance of it, the value of it, they don't understand why it's not in all of the schools and the part of the basic curriculum.
Absolutely.
And these are students asking these questions
Yes.
of us. And you would think that the adult would have figured that out.
So school board.
Or the school
boards.
would have figured that out. If the students
Invite
are asking
us.
for it. Right. We'll be more than happy to come and let you know what we do and how important it is to your students.
Yes.
They'll learn if they're obedient.
Absolutely.
If they're disruptive,
not learning.
they're not going to learn. Okay, so that's just 2 plus 2.
Yes.
So definitely consider bringing us into your school, wherever that may be, so long as in the state of Illinois.
Yes.
We'll try to accommodate you, and I promise you, you won't regret it, and you'll see a different kind of student body as a result of
Yes.
etiquette training of those young people. Okay? Now, moving on to the subject that we have for today. I'm going to go ahead and put it up over on the overhead here so we can get started on that. Okay, let's talk etiquette, of course. And the topic for today is declining social values in American life. Declining social values in American life. And, I guess we all see what's going on over the last, 30, 40 years
Yes.
as we continue to decline as a society. And at the core of it, naturally, is behavior.
Yes.
And we are old enough to have seen what it was like, and now we can judge and gauge what it is now. And that's the benefit of living a little longer than 22 or 23, because at that age, they don't have any way to judge over that time period the difference in the way people behave and conducted themselves in society. So as we do this decline, I thought it would be, and we both agreed, it would be a great subject to look at the church faith, the religious community in relationship to church etiquette. And that's something that we didn't go to church unless we had a shirt and tie on.
Yes.
And even at 6, 7, 8 years old, our parents dressed us in suits in order to go to church, and all the men wore suits to church. And so that was part of their value system that dictated you have to show respect and honor to the institution you are a member of.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't go there with jeans on or sneakers or T-shirts or some of the ensembles we see our women wear, which is,
well, it's not just women. It's the whole community. When you talk about a declining in America, social values in America, you're talking about not just one community. We're talking about a host of communities. We're talking about in the church, or the church community. We're talking about in the recreational community. We're talking about in the education community.
yes.
It's a declining in our individual communities.
Yes, it is a decline.
Yeah, and you wonder why. Why? Why is it that we are in a state in our culture today that's failing, that's declining?
Yes.
Why is it that children are being shot and killed, and children are killing other children? And why is it that we have such a disarray in our communities?
Yes.
I think we had a caller. You want to take it now?
Caller?
Yes, and it's so nice
Hey,
to see
Steve.
y'all.
Hello. Glad to hear back from you. I missed you last week.
Listen, number one, there is a declining moment of our life. Also, I had a stroke. At nighttime, man, I could barely talk, but when I see y'all, sometimes I want to talk more than just listen. But listen, it is a declining moment in society right this morning. You see, grown people go to church with gym shoes and go to a funeral in gym shoes. No more shirts and ties. Like you say, I remember going to Sunday school with a shirt, tie, and suit. But listen, the key to this is something I've been telling ever since I saw your show. Teach the young. And see, it's not the old teaching the young no more. Have the young teach the old. And maybe we could get a little bit back, because our loved ones are leaving here so quickly. Parents are not parents that much anymore, but you have people on the block that care for kids. People are interested in kids, such as y'all two. So keep on teaching. I always believe if you save one, you did your job.
Yes.
Y'all two are the most greatest two people around. I can't understand why people don't call more on this show. But listen, we know why. Because they not have time to learn something new. They thinking they know everything.
Yes.
You can't tell them nothing. But listen, tell a kid and a kid will learn. Listen, my throat is really bad, but I miss y'all.
Hey,
and
I
I
miss
think
you too,
y'all
Steve.
always do a wonderful, good job. So what I'm going to do is get out there so I can still hear your response. Don't worry, someday I might not call, but I promise you, I am listening.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
thank you guys for taking the call.
Yes.
Let me get out there so I hear your response.
Yes,
And
yes.
listen, with
Thanks,
me,
Steve.
it's one day at a time. Every
Yes.
day is a better day. Y'all take
Absolutely.
care.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks
Glad-
for calling.
I'm glad to hear from Steve. Because
Absolutely.
when I came on last week, Steve, I asked our producer over there, did Steve call? And he said, no, he didn't call. I said, okay, I hope he'll call next week. So I really appreciate hearing from you, Steve. You are our only listener that calls in. So if you don't dare to call in, we won't have any calls. But that's okay. We know you're out there listening. And even if you don't call, we know that you're there. Okay, Steve? Thanks again, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes.
But back to
Good
the
point.
subject. Yes.
Good point you raised there about the parents not parenting like they once was.
Yes.
And that's so tragic because the whole essence of parenting, like for my parents and grandparents, your parents and grandparents' generation, was the process of educating a child on how to behave,
Yes.
manners, and morals. And I think perhaps a lot had to do with where they live, living in the South. You know how mannerable they are in the South. That's part of the ritual of living and raised in the South. They do take time to teach their children good manners and morals. And so it's a wonderful place to be and to visit. But unfortunately, somehow we lost that once we migrated to the north. We're the first generation who did do it, but somehow it fell apart, and we bought into whatever what was hip or what was current. And back to the subject, though. You were telling him, you was talking about the church and
Well-
the change up in the way people behave.
Okay, before we take this caller, another caller is coming through. Sometimes the church, now I'm speaking of the Christian church,
Yes.
the idea is to come as you are, and which is wonderful. People should come as you are to church. But we had a code of ethics at one time. And coming as you are at one time meant to come presentable as you are.
Yes.
Not to come as you are leaving the nightclub with your nightclub attire on.
Yes.
And I think right now we're kind of in a mode where people, they'll say, well, you say come as you are,
Right.
so here I am. So I don't want to, be down on that because I believe that we should come as we are, but have some discretion, have some manners and morals in your
Yes.
appearance.
Yes.
When you come as you are.
Yes.
I'm going to just deviate just a second. I know the Muslim community, that's part of a ritual, that's part of their manners and morals, that's part of what they teach.
Yes, that's true. And you see it in their children.
You see it in their children.
Whether they're on the
you
street
see it
or
in
in
their
the mosque.
where that's a part of what they believe in.
Yes.
And I think we need to take heed to that. Every community.
Listen and learn.
Listen and learn.
That's a valuable lesson that they are teaching. By example.
By example.
By example. That's the best way to teach.
Yes.
Whether you see them on the street or selling newspapers or just simply walking down the street, they always present themselves at the highest level.
At the highest level.
And their children.
Mannerism, appearance, at
Yes.
the highest level.
At the highest level. We should take note of that. That's a wonderful way to live your life and to be a decent human being, contributing to the better side of this society.
Yes.
Yes. Caller, you're on air.
Yes, this is Steve again.
Oh, okay, Steve.
Listen, what happened to you look good, you feel good, you act more civil when you're looking good, not hood on your head or pants sinking down. I have one pair of gym shoes. I have them for probably last 25, 30 years.
So,
Listen, I got plenty of leather shoes, plenty of belts. you're going to feel good. People have a different
Okay.
oh, sorry, outlet on you. But most important, when you look in the mirror, you look good.
Yes.
Look at your knot on your tie.
Yes.
That's how a man supposed to look. Look at the beautiful woman right next to you,
Yes.
looking good. So
Thank you.
I
Thanks,
want to.
Steve.
I don't want to see a preacher or teacher, just a fool walking down the street. Look good sometime. I promise you, will look good.
You feel better.
Thanks for taking the call again.
Yes, Steve, not a problem. I agree 100% with you. Our generation, and I'm speaking of Miss Selma's generation as well, we went out our way to look our very best.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't go in high school. We wouldn't go to school looking shabby. We went and did it at our highest level. We could afford to do that. And so that was a part of that culture and that time period. It was a wonderful time period. And you felt good about how you look. I feel good about how I look today,
Yeah.
as opposed to with T-shirts on and wrinkled, torn jeans on, which I don't have any.
Yes.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. The Muslim American community has set quite a standard, and it's a high standard. And I do admire them and the sisters in the mosque, and they just are so impressive.
Absolutely.
Look like we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, good evening.
Good
Yeah, I
evening.
just wanted to make a comment. Kind of piggybacking off what you all were talking about, I guess, as far as traditions and cultures. I think in the African American communities, we've kind of been targeted and marketed to change traditions and cultures. People don't go out looking for a specific attire to be, I want to say, dressed, as Steve Harvey would say, dressed up, you know. People have been kind of marketed to be separated from the corporate world, which is sort of like what you find in a traditional church where you got shirts and ties and suits. You know, and people relate that as workwear in the corporate world. And folks that they're not in the corporate world don't associate themselves with that so much. They go by what they see on TV, which will more be like might be more like boys in the hood type thing. That's just my culture. I mean, my comment, and I think I'd like to get your response.
Okay.
And you know, certain other things, you know, I would just say reach back and bring one with you. You know, old cliches like that have gone to the wayside, and people don't.
Yes.
Those are still valuable things. You know.
Yes. Yes. Well, caller, appreciate your call. Good question. And if you want to try, go ahead and give it
No,
a response.
I totally agree with you. We have to reach back
Yes.
and reintroduce those values that we had back in the day. Because if we don't, who's going to?
Right. Right.
Who's going to?
Right.
I
Right.
think it's our responsibility as senior people
Elders in the community.
to make a contribution to our younger generations
Yes.
and set the tone. We have to, I believe, we have to stop settling for
Yes.
what the mediocre.
Mediocre. Right. Yes.
We have
Yes.
to.
Yes.
I
And-
think we need to get back to some of the basics.
Yeah, I agree
You know,
with you. I agree.
I
Yes.
love technology. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
You understand? But if it's going to prevent our kids from learning to read, write,
Yes.
and
Well, yes.
understand the core curriculums,
Yes.
then we're doing a disservice.
Yeah, we are.
We're doing a disservice.
Right. And,
So-
and to his question about dress in terms of a more formal look with a shirt and tie on, that I firmly believe is one of the plots against a certain class of people, because if you disassociate them from the higher income and induce them into the casual I'm nobody kind of income, you're going to ultimately you're going to ultimately produce that kind of person. And as you know, if you're in the corporate world, you should start this attire in high school just to be comfortable with your presentation in that $70, $80, $100,000 a year job. You have a different mannerism when you are wearing a suit and a tie. And so the conditioning that goes into this ensemble, which is international, it's not like it's in Chicago, nowhere else, it's all over the world. Men of distinction, men of worth are wearing, not all of them, but if you look at the overwhelming majority in that high income, are dressing like this. And it's a signal that you are educated, that you are in a higher income, more than likely. Okay? So that, if you want to move a generation of people away from that direction, then change their dress attire, encourage them to dress a little less formal, and you would end up with those going down that road. Just talk to some of the young men out here and ask them what type of work they want to do, what kind of career they want to pursue. And if they say they want to go into the banking industry, they want to go into the legal industry, you would more than likely say that's a conservative enterprise. Okay? And because it's a conservative enterprise, go downtown, LaSalle Street. What are you going to see most of the time? See? So that's my little comment to why we've been encouraged to move away. The smart ones among us are moving away to this lower class standard that we see every day. And that's why they don't know the things they need to know to be a part of the corporate world.
And believe it or not, when it's introduced, it is so well received.
Oh, they love it.
And we're speaking from experience.
Yes, we know.
There's another caller. Let's
Yes.
try to pick this
Just
one
real,
up before.
just real quickly with that point she's making.
I promise this is real quick.
Okay, go ahead,
I
Steve.
retired when I was 44 years old. I was in administration, director in administration. I retired when I was 44. I'm 70 years old.
Yes.
If I go to the grocery store, trust me, I'm looking nice.
Yes.
I ain't gonna walk out my house nowhere unless I'm looking nice. You know,
And you're
young
right.
people see it and they do it.
Yes.
That's
You're
where I
abso-
live at. They compliment me. I say, you do the same thing. And
Yes.
you see young men dressing nicely. So I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to look good. I'm
Yes.
going to look good when I die. And when I come back again, I'm going to still look good. So let me go. Y'all have a good
Thanks
night.
for that call. Well, we know this is true from teaching at our alternative school. These garments that they're wearing. And we're having the opportunity to change them. And when we donate suits to them. And when we should bring some pictures and show.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to pick this up next week.
Right.
Because we
Right.
need to wrap it up
Yes.
now, Mr. Wright.
Yes, I'm gonna put our information up over here so you can reach out to us. But yeah, my point being,
And do it quickly.
yes, what did I do with that sheet? It must be under here. My point being, once they put that suit and tie on, they become totally different.
Absolutely.
They walk different. The whole 9 yards. Reach out to us at 312-473-2942 or send us an email at info@efoi.org. We're looking to hear from you. And with that said, I would like to give this lady here the opportunity to close out the show.
Thank you for watching. We'll be back on next week. Please tune in. We had an awesome show, and we're looking forward to more. Thank you.
And thank the callers for calling. Call next week, okay, callers? Appreciate
you.
the call.
Goodbye.
Good night.